Hello! I hope you guys are all okay and all good. Welcome to another video and the new year, new books book tag. I was not officially tagged in this, I was tagged in this in a Simon Savidge tagging everyone who watches the video way, which I really appreciate because it's actually a really fun tag. This was originated by Lucy the Reader over on the Penguin Platform YouTube channel. I will link to Lucy's video on the Penguin Platform channel, her channel, and Simon's video in the description box below. You should go and check them out. I love Lucy and I love Simon. So you should go and watch their videos because they're bloody amazing. Let's get on to the questions. 1. What was your first read in 2018? My first read of 2018 was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I've actually lent my copy to a friend, so I don't actually have it with me right now, but I have done a full review of this book on my channel, which I will link in the description box below. I think you should go and watch that because it's, well, I'm talking about it at length and it's a really good book and you want to know about it. The Cruel Prince is about a girl called Jude who right at the beginning of the book is stolen away along with her twin sister Taryn and her older sister Vivi to the fairy realm by Redcap Maddock. And it is about Jude's life in the fairy world and how her want to fit in with the fairies despite her being immortal means that she gets herself caught up in courtroom politics and bloodshed. It's brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It was an absolutely cracking start to my reading year and one of the books that I was like most looking forward to of this year, so that's really quite exciting that it kind of arrived on my doorstep from the lovely people over at Hotkey Books. That meant that I got to read it really quickly, which was really fun. So yes, that. Question 2. Which books you read in 2017 do you want to share with everyone this year? A book that I read last year that I really want to share with everyone and have been talking about for ages anyway is a book that actually came out in 1995, which is called Holding the Man by Tim Conigrave. This is a memoir written by Australian man Timothy Conigrave about growing up in the 1970s in a very Christian society and being gay. It's about him growing up and falling in love with star of the football team John Callio. It's about the two of them falling in love and falling apart and growing up together and growing apart. It's about the AIDS crisis. It's gorgeous, it's heart-wrenching, it's inspiring. It's a really brilliant book and one that I'm so glad that I kind of stumbled upon last year. I didn't really find it on purpose, if that makes sense. Like, it was the recommendation on Netflix to watch the film, and I thought, oh, I'll read the book before I watch the film, which is not something I normally do. I would normally just watch the bloody film. But I listened to the audiobook, and I read the play, and I missed the play when it was in London, but I do want to see it, should it ever come back. But it's a beautiful book, and I want more people to read it, because it's just really great. Also, We Come Apart by Brian Conaghan and Sarah Crossan is a book that I absolutely loved. Like, I read it in 2016. I read it at the tail end of 2016, but obviously it came out in 2017 and the paperback has just come out and it's an absolutely stunning book. It is told fully in verse. It's got two voices in it that just like fully pop off the page. I mean, I loved Sarah Crossan's book 1 and her book Moonrise that came out in 2017. I also really loved Brian Conaghan's book When Mr. Dog Bites. So this is really exciting that it's two incredible authors together. And yeah, it's such a great book and I really do recommend that you give it a look. It's really bloody good. 3. What is your reading goal for the year? My reading goal for the year, I did set myself a reading goal on Goodreads, which I wasn't going to do, but then I did it anyway because, like, they said, are you going to set a reading goal? So I decided that I was going to. And I've only set it at 40 books this year. I set it at 52 last year and I didn't quite make it. I set it at 52 the year before and I think I only just got there. So I think my reading goal mostly is like to actually make the time to read more, because I mean at the moment I'm hella busy. I'm living like 3 lives at the moment and it's really tiring, but there are definitely times during the time when I'm living one of my 3 lives when I could actually be reading a book, and I often am choosing to not read a book, which I love reading. When I actually do it, I really enjoy it, so it's not something that I really should be not doing. Like, I shouldn't be I need to be less hard on myself when it comes to reading, because I know I'm doing an awful lot in terms of like life, but there are times when I could be reading and those are times when I should be reading, so I need to make more time to read, even if it's just like switching off all screens at like 9:30 and reading for half an hour before bed or something like that. I don't know, it's still something to think about. I've not really made any New Year's resolutions either, apart from like keep on keeping on sort of situation. Question 4. Which new author, book or genre would you like to try this year? I actually have a lot of classics that I really want to read that I've not yet read, or things that are considered to be classics that I've not read that I really want to read. Over Christmas I reread A Christmas Carol. I did it the year before. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it even more reading it the second time round. And I have a lot of Charles Dickens up on my shelf. I have these lovely cloth-bound Penguin Classics editions that are so, so beautiful that I feel like I should probably read. And, well, not I feel like I should read, but I really want to read. It's why I asked to have them bought for me for Christmas, because they looked really beautiful and I really wanted to read them. So those are something that I want to read. I really want to read The Lord of the Rings this year. It's like taken me ages to just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a feeling of whether or not I am intelligent enough to read a classic, which is a really weird thing to say. But because classics, they're classics and they're so like loved up and everyone is so very much like, oh yes, the classics, darling, and I don't feel like I'm fancy enough to read a classic and understand it and fully appreciate it. But I really want to read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit this year, which again is another thing that was bought for me in a box set and I've just not got around to reading it yet. And you might be able to see it behind me, just on my right. I have like a giant bind up of The Complete Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers, which I've had for ages, and it's this like gorgeous big edition, and like I mean I've never read them. I've never read Mary Poppins. I didn't even realise until I bought this that there are like 6 Mary Poppins books, so possibly this at some point as well. And like I have so many like classic-y books that I sort of want to read, like along with like The Hobbit and the Charles Dickens books and Mary Poppins, and there's so many others that like I really want to sink my teeth into. So I think maybe classics, maybe this is the year where I read classics. And beyond that, I suppose this kind of fits into the reading goals thing as well, is that I want to read more. I mean, to go the complete opposite way, I would also really like to read more of 2018. Like, I feel like last year and the year before, I didn't read enough of the stuff that came out in the year. I know that, I think it was James Smythe, who wrote a book I loved called Way Down Dark, amongst tons of other books like The Explorer and The Testament and things. He did like one year, I think it was last year or the year before, where all he read were books that came out in that calendar year, which sounds like a really cool thing to do. I just feel like maybe that's too far for me. Maybe I'd miss out on too much. But I would like to read more of 2018 in 2018, so that when I, just because I feel like I missed out on so much stuff last year, and I need to try and not do that again, I think. Maybe. I don't know. It's so hard. I don't like making reading goals, because if I make reading goals, I feel like the only thing I can really do is break them. Question 5. Which reading habits would you like to change? Big reading habit I would like to change is like leaving books. Like I will kind of get partway through a book and then I'll just stop reading it for one reason or another. And it's not because it's not a good book, it's just because like life gets in the way, or I stop making time to read them or something like that. I need to stop doing that. And also I need to try and stop reading multiple books at once, because I don't think it's good for me. I don't think it's something that really works for me. I think it's more like I end up being halfway through like 3 books, which is where I was at the end of this year. Like I was halfway through the Maz Evans, the Sally Nichols and something else, and I've actually not even finished the Maz Evans and the Sally Nichols. Oh, and Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. Like I finished that one over Christmas, praise the Lord, but I didn't finish Sally Nichols or Maz Evans. Like that's not a good reading habit to have. Reading multiple books at once, it is for some people, it's just not for me. Like reading multiple books at once, it doesn't work for me, and it's not something that I want to keep doing. I need to stop doing that. That's something to not do in 2018. Stop trying to read more than one book at once. And also I need to not be afraid of putting books down if I don't like them. I think this was one of Simon's as well. Like I need to not be afraid to do that. Like the Jen Bennett, so Alex Approximately, it was a good book. It was fine. Like I wasn't like living for it. Like it was a fine book. It was fine. And I need to not force myself through these books that I'm not fully invested in or fully loving, because I have so many books on my shelf. To be fair, I've just done a massive clear out, so it's like there's probably like 100 less read and unread books that are now off my shelves. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I need to not read more than one book at once. I need to be fine with stopping reading things if I don't like them or I'm not living for them. Yeah. Question 6. Most anticipated read of the year. Actually, one of my most anticipated reads of the year was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. That's a really, really exciting book for me. And I've read it and I've enjoyed it, so that's one that I really, really looked forward to. I'm really looking forward to And the Ocean Was Our Sky by Patrick Ness, which is coming out in September, I think. That's really exciting that we're going to get like a Patrick Ness, like 2 Patrick Ness books in as many years. which is amazing. He's brilliant, and I'm really, really looking forward to a new book from him. It's fully illustrated as well, which is really, really cool. I'm also really looking forward to The Curses by Laure Eve. I know that was meant to come out in 2017, but it got pushed back to 2018, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that, if that comes out this year. What If It's Us by Becky, Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I'm a huge fan of both of their books, so I'm really excited to see what it's going to be like having them write together. And I think David Levithan, is releasing I know that he's got a new book coming out with Rachel Cohn this year, but also I think the third book in the Everyday series is coming out. So we've had Everyday, we've had Someday, and then we've got Everyday, Another Day, and I think the third one is called Someday. I might be making that up. But there is like the third book in the Everyday series I think is coming out this year. Which is very, very, very exciting. But yeah, I think those are my like most anticipated reads of the year. But like as with every year, there's always stuff that's going to come out that we don't know about. So that's always really exciting to kind of be keeping an eye on Twitter, and then suddenly something gets announced that it's coming this year and it's like, oh my goodness, I need to get that immediately. So that's really cool. But yeah, The Curses I'm really excited for. New David Levithan, new Patrick Ness, new Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, lots of really exciting stuff coming next year, I think. And those ones in particular really appeal to little old me. So yeah. Every book that I've mentioned in this video I will link down in the description box below, so you can go and find out more about it, along with linking Simon and Lucy's lovely, lovely videos. If you fancy doing this tag, I'll leave all the questions down below. You should absolutely 100% do it. It's super fun and it gets you thinking about new books in the new year, which is no bad thing. And that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to put a thumb on it and to subscribe if you want to see more. I love each and every one of your faces, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!